Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the Board Masters with me, Chris Mullins, joined once again by my good friend Chris Reed.
Hi there, alright.
It's been far too long since we've been at the table. It's
Yes.
3, maybe 4 weeks. I can't keep track.
I think at least 3. Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, I can't remember whether we played the Tuesday before you went on holiday or not. But
yeah, I'm not sure either actually.
So it's been at least 3 weeks. So we've had a good day of it so far. We've hammered out a few more scenarios of Jaws of the Lion, so we're coming to the end of that. And so I thought it'd be a good time to do more of a conversation with Chris, because we haven't really done anything like this on the channel at all. Usually it's just my voice droning on, so I asked Chris to do a list of the top 5 games in my collection he most wants to play next, because obviously we've got the space coming up after Jaws of the Lion. So fire away, Chris.
Yeah, so these top 5 I'm going to show you now. As Chris said, in his collection that I most want to play. They're in no particular order. I'm just following my brief notes that I've written about each one. So the first game
is a monster.
Yeah, it is a monster. Highly anticipated to get this to the table. So this is Tainted Grail, The Fall of Avalon. This game for me is a massive attraction, based on loads of different reasons. I absolutely love Arthurian legend. So my favourite book, or one of my favourite books, is the King Arthur stories. So anything sort of Arthurian based or Celtic based, Celtic legend based is going to be a big attraction for me. I really like the sound of the adventure, and how the exploration of the game, how you can explore this vast world that is Avalon. I think another big attraction for me, and it's very similar, I think, to Too Many Bones and to Jaws of the Lion, in the fact there's lots of character development to be had in the game, with lots of exciting combat as well.
Nice.
And the scripts of the game sound really good as well. They sound really well crafted and interesting.
Yeah, I've heard great things about the story, and if you follow the channel, you know I'm a big fan of Awakened Realms so far, so I'm desperate to get this to the table. I have been very, very tempted on a number of occasions to start a solo campaign, but I did have an inkling you would want to play it, so I've held off on that. So I'm glad that we are coming into alignment for that one.
Yeah, and I think the beauty of this is, you know, it's obviously a campaign-based game with Jaws of the Lion. You know, we're probably down to, I'd say, the last 4 or 5 scenarios in Jaws of the Lion now.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is right up there for me. Ticks all the boxes, and yeah, I definitely can't wait for us to get this to the table.
I think this is one we will potentially show on the channel as well, because if I remember rightly, scenario 1, or they have an introductory scenario which is just like a tutorial, which doesn't spoil the story or anything at all. So I'll probably look to film that, and then I won't play through the rest of the campaign on camera, but play through enough of it,
yeah,
that we are able to give a decent review towards the end. So it might be a month or 2 before we get the gameplay up, because we'll probably, as I said, record the first one and then pile through the campaign, then upload this when we're ready to do the review as well. But keep an eye on the channel, it will be coming up soon.
Yeah, can't wait for that one. So that's Tainted Grail, Fall of Avalon.
Yes, on to the second one in your list.
So the second one on my list is Brass Birmingham. I know Chris has had this in his collection for a little while now.
Yeah.
And we've both talked about playing it over the last sort of couple of months, but obviously there's been other games which you sort of prioritised.
Yeah. Well, as you can see, it's the only game in my collection that is still in shrink, much to my shame. So I do very much want to get this to the table.
Yeah, so you can coincide the unboxing
yeah,
with the game.
Yeah, I can do them.
With this, I love the sort of historical context of the game. being set in sort of like the the Industrial Revolution set in Birmingham. So there's the historical concepts of the how everything the industries were developed in a sense.
Yeah.
I like the dynamic board system setup of the game. I think that's quite unique. It's definitely something I want to explore more.
I think it's probably one of the few Euros in terms of the style of game. We're managing lots of different resources and min-maxing things. I don't think we've really played too many of it. I guess Dinosaur Island
that's the only other
has a bit of it.
Similar.
But isn't, I don't think, the same depth as this. And I think, what's this? This is top 5 on BGG, I think.
Yeah. It's
certainly top 10.
It's it's highly rated. So yeah, I'd love the board system on it. It's definitely something I'm looking forward to playing. The strategies as well within the game look really, really good. And the game mechanics and how you can adapt the strategies to the game mechanics. I also like the idea of sort of building and developing my own factory and industry.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's like theme hospital and theme park and roller coaster tycoon and zoo tycoon. These things, running a business doesn't ever sound particularly interesting, and then they make a video game or a board game about it, and I want to do it.
It's I suppose it's not real money.
Well, yeah, it's a bit more fun there.
But yeah, I definitely can't wait for this one. I definitely want to start playing this. I mean, these sort of games really appeal to me. The games that have that sort of historical context, but they've sort of been adapted into board games. So yeah, definitely looking forward to getting this Brass Birmingham to the table.
Okay, me too.
Soon.
Number 3.
Number 3 is Pandemic Legacy.
Very relevant, obviously.
Yeah. Got their masks on.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, Pandemic doesn't really need a lot of introduction. It's probably one of the most famous board games out there.
Well, yeah, even more so over the past 18 months.
Yeah. I mean, who wouldn't want to cure illnesses and eradicate disease?
Save the world.
Save the planet. Again, similar to Tainted Grail, it's character building. You just sort of develop this character, which is an aspect I love, as I've sort of highlighted with Tainted Grail.
Mm-hmm.
I like the way the game sort of develops with new rules.
The legacy aspect.
Yeah, and new components.
I think it's the only traditional legacy game I've got in the collection as well. And to be honest, that was an accident. It shows, I've spoken about it on the channel before. Obviously, I've only been in the hobby really for a year. And I bought this June, July last year, purely based on the BGG rating. And at that point, I had no idea what legacy meant in terms of a board game. So I didn't realise until I opened it that you had to then destroy cards and things, which filled me with dread and terror because, well, I haven't even played the base game yet. And so that's why it's been opened but hasn't actually been played, because I'm very conscious of needing a consistent group. So whether it's just going to be us two, or I can rope Stace in, or somebody else, who knows. But yeah, I definitely need a few practice goes on the base version, which I believe you can do with this set. You just have to tweak the rules a little bit. I think there's a money rule that you have more in Legacy than you do in the normal.
Yeah, you get more money.
But you can play the base game just by dropping the money and then get familiar with the mechanics and then dive in.
But yeah, it is a bit worrying the way you've got to sort of cut things up and sort of.
I hate doing it in the escape rooms, in the exit games. I really struggle with that. So doing it in that is going to be hard.
Because it effectively makes the game, unreplayable, really. So yeah, the way the new rules and the components adapt to the game, I really love. And just as the way things progress, you're developing your character, your situation.
Yeah, and as hard as the legacy aspect is, I guess it does get you to invest more, I think, because the game is ever changing based on how you're doing. You invest in it a bit more and you maybe care a bit more. But the penultimate game on your list, Chris?
So the penultimate game is Terraforming Mars. Again, another one which we've talked about, and I've done quite a bit of. I've done obviously looked into all these games that I'm showing you now. I've always showing you now, and yeah, love a bit of sci-fi. Who doesn't? We haven't played that many sort of sci-fi games. Most of the games we've played have been fantasy, more fantasy-driven games, I would say, on the whole.
Definitely. Yeah.
With the likes of Too Many Bones, Jaws of the Lion, games of that ilk. So to see,
Yeah.
hence the reason I chose a couple of more sci-fi based games in this top 5.
Yeah, and I'm very excited again for you to pick this one because, again, it's a game that I bought based on the BGG rating. It's a game Stace and I played once, absolutely adored it, really fell in love with it, but for some reason or other we just haven't got it to the table again. So any excuse to get it to the table is a good one in my book. So again, given that out of the 4 games so far, I've had one playthrough of one of them in total, and it's very much a bunch of games that I really want to play as well. So I'm loving this list so far.
Okay, so what I really love about this game, I mean, the sheer number of cards within the game, I forget how many it is, but it's well in the hundreds of staggering cards within a game. I remember looking at it and there just seemed to be more than any other game I've seen.
Well, I think Tainted Grail probably blasts out of the water for that, but yeah, 760 plus cards in there.
But yeah, the sheer number of cards to me looks staggering. I like the way you can sort of gather resources. You can get together and compile all these resources, build them up. I think that's impressive. I love the fact it's set on Mars. As a kid, you sort of like you watch the likes, the classic sort of Star Wars, Star Trek, and you sort of like, that's how I really got into sort of sci-fi.
The dream of going to space is always there, isn't it?
So the fact of creating a new world on a different planet, especially at the moment with everything going on with global warming, this is going to happen.
Well, it's going to have to, I imagine.
So yeah, maybe they can take a leaf out of this game when that does happen.
Yes, the tactics are already there. We've got experts around the world in the BGG groups and whatnot. But yeah, like I said, I played it once, completely adored that playthrough. There were so many different strategies. Stace was hammering me the entire game, and I somehow won by 1 point because I had so many pets or something, I think it was. I just was quietly spamming pets the whole game, and it paid off in the end. But so the 5th and final game on your list is going to be another heavy box, I think.
It is.
And another one, I'm pleased to say, from Awaken Realms.
This last choice wasn't, the first 4 I got relatively quickly. There was another one which I almost went with, but I decided to go with Nemesis as my last choice. A beefy box.
Yeah. Another bit of sci-fi.
Sci-fi again. What I love about this, where do you start? The minis and models look amazing.
Yeah.
Very well sculpted. Lots of detail on there.
So same can be said for Tainted Grail as well, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, this is essentially Alien in a box under a different name.
Yeah, basically everything. it is an Alien board game.
I'm not sure how they got away with the copyrights and everything, but that's
thank God they did.
I'm obviously a big fan of the Alien film series. So yeah, what I love about this, as I've said, is the staggering amounts, the detail, the miniatures, the components, all look top notch, very well designed, and I love how you can sort of like gather the resources within the game. There seems to be a lot to do in the game.
Yeah, there's lots of targets and things, jobs to do, like setting coordinates and
Yeah.
rebooting engines and destroying nests and things.
Yeah, and there's very sort of distinguished roles.
Yeah.
For each person. So yeah, this is definitely a game I want to play. I remember just watching Chris's unboxing on this.
Yeah.
Well, it must have been about a month or more ago now.
I think it was back in June, possibly July, but yeah.
And really was interested in playing this game. Yeah, so that's my final choice, Nemesis.
Yeah, I mean, this one, the thing that really excites me about this one is the sort of semi-co-op / betrayal aspect of it. Because again, that's not something I really have in my games. I'm not generally a big fan of sort of take that mechanics. I'd rather either be, well, even not outright competitive is a relatively small subsection of my games. I tend to go for cooperative. Obviously, you can play this cooperative as well at lower player counts, but the fact that there are more advanced rules and more kind of the semi-co-op mode where you may have a winning condition that states that your other players need to die, or you need to escape on the escape pod with an alien or something inside you, is a really interesting mechanic for me and something completely different that I haven't experienced before. So I am very excited to try that.
It is very different to most of the games.
I mean, I think this and Terraforming Mars were two that I were probably planning to feature in my solo playthrough series that I'm starting on Saturday with Roll Camera. Whether or not I will, it depends. We may get co-op games in or something instead, but we'll see. It's definitely games I want to focus on and showcase because they are very exciting.
Yeah, definitely. I can't wait to play any of these games, to be honest with you. These are my choices. What Chris had that we've not played yet. And
just out of interest, what was the sixth one that you almost put in?
Well, purely the laugh of it. I was toying with Everdell, but we've
Everdell. Yeah, it's become a bit of a joke, but between us since the channel started, because obviously we started filming way back in October last year. We filmed Takanoko, which hit the channel. We had one practice game of Everdell, and then all the lockdowns hit. Then Kurt went home, and you know, so 11 months down the line, it still hasn't hit the table. So it's become a bit of a running joke between us. It's one I've got to play again.
I think at some point we'll play it, but there's just so much other content to get through. That.
I mean, we say that, but we could quite easily be sitting here in 5 years saying we're going to play Everdell soon.
It's still there on the shelf.
It's still up there looking at me. I've still got the tree set up over there, still on that pile. Looking at me forlornly.
I mean, the other one I did toy with was
Yggdrasil Chronicles.
Yeah, that was what I did toy with, but this is what I went with.
Yeah.
I mean,
another game, an impressive tree that I need to get to the table. Well, that's it for this video. Feel free to comment down below with any disagreements or reasons for why Chris is absolutely right. And hopefully, like I said, we'll feature these on the channel. Certainly, Tainted Grail will be in a couple of months. Nemesis definitely as well. Potentially Terraforming Mars. But yeah, if there's any you really want to see, let me know. And we'll see you again. So thank you for watching. Look after yourself, stay safe, and have a good one. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye now.